Hi again. This is a video about two triangle problems in the trig section. So that's chapter 2.7, pages 113 to 121 in your textbook. It's outcome M4, and it's the fifth of 5 videos that we're doing for this chapter. Okay, so you're going to come across questions that look like this. It says, calculate the length of xy to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. Okay, so xy is this length right here that I've highlighted, and we need to look to see if we have enough information to figure it out. And if you notice here, usually we're given either a side and an angle in order to figure out another side in a triangle. But in this little sliver of a triangle here, we don't have enough information. So we need to use this other triangle to our advantage. So how can I use that to figure out this side over here? Well, I'd like you to notice that right here, this side is a side that's shared between both triangles. So what you need to do first is you need to figure out that side. So what I want you to do is pause the video and figure out what that side is, and then we'll continue. All right, so hopefully you took the chance to figure out what YW, side YW or WY is on your own. So that's this line right here. And what I did was I used this length right here, which is the hypotenuse of this bigger triangle. And I used this angle here to find the opposite side. So that told me that I needed to use the sine ratio. So sine of 20 degrees equals WY divided by 8.4. And when you solve that, you get 2.8729, and then it kind of continues on in your calculator, right? Don't erase that number. Don't press on or reset. Leave that number in your calculator because we're going to use it to find the next part. Okay, so to find the next part in your triangle, what you need to do is realize that, okay, so I have 2.87, so I've got this number, 2.8729 for this part right here. Now, do I have enough information to find this line right here? And alas, I do. So let's pause it again and see if you can figure out what that hypotenuse of that smaller triangle is. Okay, so you have to be quick on that pause button. So to find xy, I realized that I needed cosine because I have right here, this is the angle that I care about, right? That's the angle I have. So this is the adjacent side and this is hypotenuse. So that makes me use cos. Plug in what I know, solve for what I don't know, and then that gives me the answer of xy having the length of 3.0985 ... So I just want you to notice that you needed a value that you previously calculated right here in order to figure out the next thing. And that's kind of the reason why I don't want you to delete that number from your calculator, because we use that, and if we don't round at this point, we maintain more accuracy. So let's just write in our rounded answer. So xy equals 3.1 centimeters long. Okay? All right, so here's another type of two triangle question. This one's a little long, so what I want you to do is I want you to read it over and take a second. Press pause on the video so that you can give yourself a chance to see if you come up with the same diagram that I do. Okay? So we've got a surveyor stands at a window on the 9th floor of an office tower. He uses a clinometer. That's just something that he uses to measure angles. He measures the angle of elevation. So the angle of elevation is angle going upwards. So that's the angle going upward. And he measures the angle of depression. So the angle of depression is the angle from the horizontal going downwards. And the base of a taller building. So the surveyor sketches this plan of his measurements, determine the height of the taller building to the nearest tenth of a meter. Okay, so take a second and see if you come up with the same diagram that I have. Okay, so here is my diagram. All right, and basically what this is saying is the person is standing right here. This is where the person is on the 9th floor. If I draw myself a person being the surveyor, okay, it's kind of hard. They should be on the 9th floor right here. And the angle of elevation is the angle going up, okay? And the angle of depression here is that angle going down. So what the question's actually asking is how tall is this building? How tall is the taller building? So you have all the tools to figure this out. Press pause on the video and see if you can come up with a solution to this, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. All right? Okay, so the thing you need to realize for this question is that there are two right angle triangles, and they've given you some measurements of this shorter building. From the 9th floor, it's 39 meters up. So basically from here to here, if you can see, right here to here, that portion of this taller building is 39 meters, all right? So that portion right there, from there to the ground, is 39 meters, okay? Now what you need to do is you need to figure out what this part is right here. So from here to here. So how long is that top part of the building? And then you're going to add those two together to get the height of the taller building. So now you need to determine what information do you need to figure this part out. Well, let's look at our triangle. We've got this angle here. I need to figure out the side opposite to that. Okay, so that's a piece of information. But I need one more length, right? What I need is how far apart are these two buildings? Okay, so there's the strategy. You need to figure out how far apart these two buildings are, and then use that information to figure out the top part of this building. And then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to add this plus the 39 that we already know in order to get the height of the building. Okay, so take a second, press pause, and on the next slide, I'll show you the solution to this. All right, so here's just a sketch of the earlier situation. And what I've done is I've drawn the two triangles just as they were between the two buildings. And what you need to realize here is that you have to use this bottom triangle in order to figure out this side here. Okay, because you already have one of the sides. So you use that and this angle in order to figure out how far apart the buildings are from each other. Okay, so then that gives us that the buildings, and I just called it Y to call it something, and that gives us that the buildings are 43.3138 ... meters away from each other. Okay, so now I need to use that value to figure out what my top part of the taller building is. Okay, so now we need to solve for x. Okay, so now solving for x, we end up using tan again. I've got tan of 31 degrees, using this side here that's common between the two, and I solve for x, and that gives me a value of x being 26.0 0.0256 meters long. Okay, so that's not the end of the question. I still have to remember to add my x and my 39 together. So x plus 39 equals the height of the building. Okay, so that ends up being 26.0256 plus 39, and that gives us a height of 65.02 meters. So we can say that this building is approximately 65 meters high. All right, hope that helps. Have fun with the homework, folks.